it ever crossed your mind that an event at any stage of your life could alter, make, or determine the path of your service or call? Well, several years ago, I started this ministry and I named it Wakisa as my maiden name. This is a name that was given to me a few hours when I was old, when I was born. And although this was many years ago, I think it is worth mentioning or talking about. When my mother delivered me, she bled profusely, she lost consciousness, and indeed everyone thought she was going to die. Everyone had lost hope, including my father. The doctors went into an active commotion to look for blood in the hospital, but it was so rare in those days. But by the grace of God, her husband, who happens to be my dad, was part of the team of the doctors around my mother, and my father was a group type O negative. And this is a universal donor who can donate blood to anyone at any time. So it so happened, as my mother was losing so much blood, my father gave a pint of his blood, and they made a cut down because all the veins were gone. They had collapsed. And miraculously, my mother survived. Breathing became normal, and she regained consciousness. My father, who was panicking as he witnessed this ordeal, got such a great relief when his wife became, his life improved, her life improved. And he gave me a name, Wakisa, which means God is merciful. And this is what I gave to the ministry, which started some years ago. Thank you. As I grew up, my life has got to do so much with my mom. That's why I bring her. She's long gone. Father is all long gone, but I can't avoid bringing her in my life. As I grew up, my mother thought nursing was the best thing for me to do. Her dream in her life was to become a nurse, but she failed somehow. And she always wished that one of her daughters, and we are many, that one of her daughters would become a nurse. The Lord fell on me. When I was 18, she did her best to convince me to become a nurse. And she told me her sisters had all endeavored to join nursing, but in vain. She said we were not successful for some reason or the other. And she went on to say that we loved a nurse in our family. I could not ask her any questions because I believed in her and wanted to please her. Little did I know that the suggestion my mother had for me was going to be the door to lead me to a momentous, unexpected event that made my life's calling sure. During my training as a nurse, my mother did not give up on me when I deliberately deserted nursing at a certain point. And I thought this was a wrong career. I packed my things and left and came back home. My gentle mom, but tough one, was perplexed to see me home. Without informing me, she went to the nursing school and she talked to the director, and this director told her that they did not send me away for any crime, and so they were ready to receive me back. And so, quietly, my mom packed all my little things in a small suitcase, and she told me to accompany her. And we ended up at the nursing school. This is when I decided to complete the course. Now, it was during my third year, while working in a women's medical general ward, that a young, pretty girl was wheeled in on a stretcher. She looked gravely ill as she was admitted. Such cases were common and normal to us, but this very girl took my attention. I think because of her beauty and her age, and she was in very, very poor condition. With her temperature running high, we did all we could as nurses to treat her and give her the prescribed medicines. This girl was 14 years, and I learned that she attempted an abortion for a 3-month pregnancy. The doctors diagnosed septicemia as the disease due to an incomplete abortion. The condition of this girl worsened, and she died in a few days. Now the face and, and the name stuck to my heart and mind of this girl. I must say, I felt really sad, but I didn't know why. But I had seen many of these girls coming, and they passed on. As years went by, I got married, and somehow this incident never crossed my mind again. I became a member of an organization in the church for married women, and our weekly program for women was to come together, have some discussions, talk about some issues, and then go back home. This very day, when we met, there was a topic that was not so interesting. And this was having an open communication line with our daughters. I did not pay full attention to this discussion. One, because I didn't have any daughters. But many members contributed. Then at a certain point, an older member stood up. She breathed heavily. She sighed. She took time to speak. When she started to speak, she said, we need to talk to our daughters. We need to have an open communication line with our children, especially daughters. And she narrated the story. She went on to say that the only daughter that she had got pregnant, and she did not talk to her mom. She feared her mom, she feared her father, and she didn't tell anyone. The daughter went ahead and committed an abortion, and this daughter died. As she was speaking, she mentioned the name of the girl that I had nursed 7 years down the road. And the penny dropped. We felt sorry for her. But after the meeting, I went to this lady in a corner, and I told her, did you say your daughter, I'll call her Daisy. Did you say your daughter was Daisy? And she looked at me, still with tears in her eyes. I said, was she in such a hospital? I'm not going to mention the name of the hospital. And she said, yes. How did you know her? I told her, I nursed your daughter. I watched her die. It was a long time ago, but I still remember the face. I still remember the name of this girl. And that was the eureka moment. That was when, I must say, it was God who told me to do something with the girls. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to start, but I knew I had to do something. Now, when I was still in this married women's organization, which I'm not going to mention again, I had to go and share it with the bishop of the church. And I shared my dream, my passion for young girls who could come in for counseling, and he gave me his blessings. He said, you can start a counseling ministry for girls in this organization. I started a room and went on to invite girls in the churches to come and seek us if they needed counseling about anything, everything. But it didn't work out. No girl turned up for counseling. I think because we're all mothers in a way, and these girls didn't want mothers to know their stories. So, as time went on, God brought another woman who wanted to start a similar thing, an American lady. And she was working in Youth for Christ. And the bishop again, who met this lady, had to call me and said, this lady is sharing the same dream as you have. So we joined hands with Barbara, and we started Youth for Christ in Uganda. But again, because Youth for Christ had many branches, the crisis pregnancy ministry was a small thing in the organization. And my passion was solely to start helping girls who have unwanted pregnancies so that they would not die. I worked in this organization for some years until I felt I must move on and start an indigenous ministry called Wakisa Ministries. So it started in 2005, and the plans were to save the lives of the babies and the mothers, to empower them so that they could participate in their decisions during and after their pregnancies, so that they could rise out of their crisis and be transformed. This was not an easy decision. I didn't have any penny, but I moved on and started Wakisa Ministries. I went for registration, and it took a long time, but after paying, I started the ministry. Then I started seeing 1, 2, 3, 4, young girls between the ages of 10 to 18. Wakisa started in a humble way, but it did not disappoint me. When I rented a small house in town in Kampala, I shared this with my family, and they gave me a chair, a table, a desk. They gave me a bunk bed, and that is how Wakisa Ministries was started. I will ever be thankful to my family that helped me, giving me a few things here and there. There was one who actually was leaving her office, and she gave me all the file folders. And for the last 16 years, I won't mention her name, I still have those file folders where I keep the records of these girls. Wakisa Ministries, which started 16 years ago, has an objective to actually keep these girls safe from the wrath of the family, from the anger of mom and dad, from the fear of getting early pregnancy, and from abortions and death. So the programs have shown promising and noticeable results over the years. 1, no girl has ever died during delivery for the last 16 years, although Uganda has got a high maternal mortality rate. No girl has ever died. And I must say I give the glory to God, not us, not me. The second one, the girls that have come to Wakisa Ministries have learned some life skills. They do tailoring, cookery lessons, they do candle making, they have gardening, they have basic computer skills, and some of them have gone on to have jobs and have started some projects. Third point, the Wakisa Sponsorship Program, this is a school sponsorship program, has seen over 80 young moms reintegrated in primary, secondary, and the university, as well as institutions. We have seen some young moms completing the university. The ministry that provides temporary shelter and offers Christian counseling. It has care services, as well as equipping girls with life skills and vocational skills, has sustained these girls, has kept them, from any pain or trauma that would affect a pregnant girl. We have seen over 3,500 girls, those that have been sheltered, including the ones that come in for temporary, counseling. And in Uganda, it remains a taboo traditionally for a young pregnant girl to stay with family during her pregnancy. Thus, the continued existence and need for Wakisa ministry services. And I always wish that in Uganda or Africa, there could be a change in our culture, a change in our tradition, that when a pregnant girl has become, when a girl has become pregnant, she would not be sent out of her home. Because the pain does not only affect the pregnant girl, but the baby inside, and the cycle goes on. I wish that there could be a change in all tribes and different cultures. It is the same. These girls are sent away, but it could change. So it is us to change that tradition. I want to say, not unto us, not unto us, but to the name of the Lord be glory because of his mercy. Wakisa. Thank you so much for listening.